Now we say, hello, everybody.
Hey,
Hello. And look
back.
at who we have back. Somebody who's been missing for a while. And today's game will actually be finding out what happened to Orkelia. Dun,
Where'd I
dun,
go?
dun. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So shall we? Oh, but before we dive in, we each have a little something that we wanted to show. I will let you go first.
Oh, okay. I want to thank Lynn because this came out of absolutely nowhere, and I'm super excited to use it. It's a TARDIS dice bag.
Which I am not envious of at all.
Anyway, I'm hoping the camera will look right there. It's so cool. You can actually read it. It's 3D printed. It's really light. But it's so cool, and I'm super excited
I
to
love
use
it.
And do me good, box. Do me good.
There you go. And I would also like to say thank you to John and Ray, who sent me, because they realized I didn't have one. It's not a dice tower, but take a look at this. This is the top. This beautiful
so cool. This Phoenix thing. That's cool.
Leatherish from Norse Foundry. Dice tray. Oh, I don't want to dump my dice out, but I will just go. Can you see? There we go. So I am so pleased. I've been actually using it for a couple of weeks, but because I've been so much enjoying using it, I haven't shown it. So thank you very much, John and Ray. I absolutely adore it. 100%.
Really cool.
Yes, it is. And robust too. So my nice heavy dice don't break it, which is nice.
Robust.
Yes, robust. All right, diving back in. Orkelia.
Hey.
As we go back a ways, you guys had just finished the fight with the giant statue thing that looks like the headmaster, according to the things that you found. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, that's where. And you're standing in the doorway, right behind where this giant statue just crumbled to dust once you guys finally killed it. Most of the people are in the room. The only person that's outside the room with you is George Eyes Badoof. And he's pretty focused on the books inside the rooms. Nobody's watching you, but I don't know, there's something that just feels off. Roll me a perception check.
Ooh, starting. All right.
Yeah.
Box. Don't do me dirty.
You get to use it right off.
I'm gonna use a blue die. Well, I was gonna.
maybe you'll use.
Maybe I'm not gonna use the blue die. I'll do a different blue die. Here we go. 14. 15. 8 plus 7 is 15.
Okay, 15. You sense something kind of behind you, but you can't really. It doesn't immediately click to whether you should be afraid, whether you should be looking, whatever. But you definitely sense something behind you.
Can I do the slow horror turn?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slow horror turn.
In fact, this whole part of the scene, we're going to do a little bit in slow motion for effect. All right. You do the slow motion turn. And what you see back at the doorway, that before Eyes was looking at the writing across it, you haven't gone through that doorway yet. It's right off the stairs. Instead, you came this direction. Standing in that doorway, and the door is open. It's your mother. And she looks very much like how you remember her, except maybe aged just a little bit.
Oh, my real mom.
Your real mom, not your Hobbit mom. Which
so up till this point, a lot of things have been fake. And man, does Orkelia both really want it to be real and not at the same time.
Yeah, you haven't seen her since you were very, very little.
So I think instinct would step me forward real fast, and then the fight or flight would go, hold up. And then is there another rock or something on the ground that I just pick up and toss at it?
Oh, there's so much debris. The figure from where you're at is about 60 feet away. So the fact that you see her at all is kind of interesting. She's not glowing per se, but she's definitely very clear.
Yeah, I'll take a few steps toward it very carefully, like keeping an eye out for traps, because this place has screwed me several times now.
Yeah. What, traps here?
What? No. Where's my lasso? Yeah, I'll take as many steps forward as it takes to like yeet a rock at mom.
Okay. You yeet a rock at the figure of your mom. Roll to hit.
Come on, Box. You gotta do better than this. Just be my general attack.
Be your ranged attack. I mean, because you threw it.
Oh. That's 13.
Okay. It does hit it, but just, like grazes the forehead. And the figure turns a little bit, and then it looks back at you with the very sad eyes and just a small, like, little drop of blood right there. Just one.
Sorry.
And stuff. But it's silent. And it beckons you forward. And then it turns and goes through the door. And you hear something in your head. It's like, remember when you had those memories upstairs, the memory things that kept happening? It feels like that. And it's a memory of the last time that you saw your mother. And at that time, she said, I will always come back for you. And she said, at least this is what you're remembering.
But not here. Here doesn't make sense. This is not right.
It doesn't make sense. She turns and she beckons again as she turns and slowly walks through the door that she's standing in front of.
I'll turn to eyes real quick and just, hey, keep an eye on everybody. I'll be back. And then I follow.
And Eyes does not respond to you. He doesn't look at you. It's like he can't hear you.
Great. This is great. Oh, okay. Well, here goes nothing.
All right. So you follow. You go through the door. I am going to, for just a moment, show you the map so you can see where you're at. All right. So this is where the fight was. You were right here on this side of the door, and Eyes was on this side of the door. She was right here, and she's gone through this door. As you follow her and you get to the door, what you see is this hallway going down and open right here, like a little alcove that leads into a small earthen tunnel.
Obviously, Cross and Medusa are not there right now, right?
Yeah, they are not right there. They're right now. That's just moved off of there. Yeah.
Well, is that where she's beckoning me to?
That is where she's beckoning you to. And it's like a little dirt tunnel that's, as you get closer, roll me a perception check. There'll be a lot of perception checks with this, I'm afraid.
Sure. All right, that's a 24.
All right.
It went better.
Okay, as you get a little bit closer and you look at the door before you go in, you realize that at one point this was a secret door. Darkness came up this tunnel and she didn't say anything about that door, so she probably didn't see it, but it's open now, which means that an incorporeal thing probably couldn't do that.
This is not a good plan. This is not a good plan. Going through the secret tunnel.
Yeah. You're like singing to yourself.
Yep.
I'm scared. I'm
I
scared
think
of a bard.
if she could bardic inspiration herself, that's what that would have been.
Yep. Yep. So you move forward down the tunnel.
Yep. Here we go.
All right. Mom is moving a little bit ahead of you. And you follow. You go about another 60 feet. And you realize that the light from back there goes out. Once you get 60 feet away from the doorway. Remember that light that came on when you played the flute? It's like that went out back there.
Oh dear. Okay. Well.
So fortunately, you have dark vision, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you see, you can see. You can't see color. Things, could hide in the shadows a little more easily, but you can see enough to be, and you can see your mother down there, not glowing, but still clearer. You know how when you do the on the iPhone camera, when you do the wonderful portrait mode, and the thing that's in focus, everything else gets just a little bit more blurry, and it's like that. It's not like I'm not glowing, but I'm just a little more in focus than everything else around you. And she keeps moving forward. And not too long after that, once the lights have gone out and you're past the 60 feet in, there's something very familiar in your brain. That voice. You know who that voice is. You don't know what his name is, but it's blue. And it says, a little further.
Okay. I'm the person you talk to, so remember, don't kill me.
Okay, and you go a little further, and the pathway, the tunnel, definitely earth and not stone, not worked like the rest of the library, is definitely going down. And at one point you can hear water above you, like maybe that underground river that you guys saw. You might be going underneath it. And you keep going, and it's getting colder as you get deeper and damper and stuff. And finally, you don't really know how far you've gone because it's dark and you've been focused on your mom and the voice and other things. But your mother turns around and smiles at you. And was there a hand gesture that she did to you when you were little? Like blowing a kiss or catching your kiss?
So my mom is an orc, obviously. So I think right? Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So her hands massive.
Mm-hmm.
My face very small.
Oh.
So I think it was kind of a cute, like, orcish aggression cuteness thing that she would just like face hug me.
Yeah, put the hand.
So I think instead of like a kiss or something so genteel, it would be more of a like a her. So maybe she's just going like this.
And that's what the spirit does. She turns and she goes like this, like she was going to put her hand over your face. And then she smiles. And then she turns and walks out of view. And behind her, you see a doorway.
But she didn't go through the doorway. She just
she turned around like she was going to go, but she's disappeared at that point. The fact that she did that motion means that maybe it's from your brain or maybe it's some, but it's definitely not just a pretense.
Yeah. This place is trippy and I don't like it. I think that's what she says, and then just goes through the door.
Okay, you go through the door, but it's closed.
What's the point of bringing me here? I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna turn around and go back to my friends. You go open the door, I'm gonna go right. She's like, you know how you nervous talk when you're scared?
Yes. Oh my God. What are you talking about? Why did you leave me right here? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what she's doing. And so she's gonna turn around and start like heading back the way she came.
And then the voice, that familiar voice from your childhood, again says, just a little further, but it says it with a stronger intensity. Like this is really important to it.
Well, I don't know about you, but I can't go through solid doors. I mean, not without breaking them. Am I supposed to break the door? I don't want to break the door. This place is filled with dirt and stuff.
And the voice says, you can. You're the only one who can.
Break down the door? I mean, I am strong. That's fair. All right. I'll try the door again.
Okay. As you're looking at the door, it looks pretty strong. You have a feeling that part of what's closing it might be magic. But there is, right in the center, a spot, a handprint that.
All right. Here we go.
And you put your hand in the handprint, and ironically, and maybe unsurprisingly, it fits perfectly. And the voice in your head cries out, ah! Only, you know, that deep booming for just a moment, and then it's cut off. And you're stuck. You can't pull your hand back for just a moment like this. And you can feel it. It's like energy running all the way through you. Your hair starts to stand a little bit on end. It doesn't hurt. There's no pain, but definitely your muscles start tensing and twitching from this, whatever this is, this magical energy. And you can start to see a glow. It's like a black glow that starts to change to blue. And then it starts to change to green, and it's going through these colors, and it started out with it, but as it starts to fade into green, you can feel it starting to build and build and build and build, and your teeth are clenching to the point where you feel like your jaw might break and your hair is standing on end and stuff. Muscles are tense. And then it turns the same color as your skin and stops and releases you. And the door, for the first time in 700 years, swings open.
Is there anything like burn marky or anything on my hand that marks that it did anything?
Not yet.
That's
but your hair is now curly.
She'll find that out later. Because that's not my first instinct, is to touch my hair.
Touch my hair, yeah.
That'll be a fun walk past a lake or something.
Yeah, it's like, wait, what? What's going on with that?
What's happening?
Okay, and you can still feel your muscles are still twitching a little bit from whatever that was. But there is not a burn on your hand.
Okay. Well, door's open. Guess I'm going through.
Okay, and you step a foot forward, and you realize as you look that the burn went through the bottom of your boots. You have no soles left to your boots.
I use these to walk. How am I supposed to get through wherever you want me to? Ow! 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 Am I supposed to do crawl? Crawl? Can't heal, can't crawl. What do you mean? One, do I take any damage from that? Two, I'm looking to see if I have any healing potions.
As you've gone through this doorway, you're no longer on dirt. The dirt is on the other side of the door. On this side is a very finely worked, intact. It's like what the other library would have looked like if it hadn't been rotting for 700 years. On this side, it's beautiful and carved and marble and smooth. And there is no detritus on the floor. So
still hurts.
when you're used to having boots, it feels really weird. It's like, ooh,
hello? Hello? Anyone?
Your voice echoes down the empty corridor.
Somebody drew me here. Be nice they met me at the door. All right, I'm coming in. So like, just to clarify, the soles of my shoes are gone, but like, are the soles of my actual feet like
no
burnt? No. Okay.
No,
okay.
it's like as if an electrical current had gone through you and ground it out into the floor.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm walking in.
All right.
Doing exactly what I keep yelling at Cross not to do. We're doing it.
But he's not there. He won't know. Anyway, so you keep walking forward and you walk forward, and the hallway, it seems to be spiraling down still, but it's a very gentle slope of just beautifully worked stone that keeps going and keeps going. After you get, I don't know, 120 yards in, so a good football field down this corridor, and it's still going and it's still going. But at one point, as you step into it, it lights up with this beautiful, gentle light. So you can see that it keeps going and it keeps going. Now, unlike the library upstairs, there are no markings to say on the walls, this way, this thing's this way. There's no arrows, there's nothing. It's just featureless, but there's starting to be carvings in the stone. And at first you can't really make out what they are because they're just more formless, like representations of movement. But if you keep going, they start to resolve into figures. Okay. Roll me a wisdom check.
Just a check, right?
Mm-hmm.
11.
Okay. You're not really sure why this is going down so far and why that door was the way it was and why all these things are, but the pictures are pretty, and the storyteller in you starts to realize that they're telling a story. They start to tell a story. Mm-hmm. And as at first it's this very sylvan thing, a view of of glades and meadows and stuff, and there seems to be hidden in the carvings of the stone. It's actually really quite a brilliant work of art. There are faces of like elves and hobbits and centaurs. Oh, and there's a faun over in that side, and there, it's very magical. And in the distance, you can see a dragon flying in the distance, and that scene progresses as you see, and then all of a sudden it begins to transform and it begins to get more dark, and you see that they are all being, several of them are being taken prisoner. You see them being marched away by humanoid figures, but in the distance you see a dragon again, very similar to this previous scene. In fact, it might even be the same location as the previous scene, but now it's about, this kind of torment. And in the back, the dragon is spouting flame at a small figure on a hill who seems to be spouting flame back from its raised hand. And then the scene continues on. And the races, you see what looks like to be, this is a scene of full out war. You see hobbits and elves and goblins and minotaurs all armored and in ranks as if they're all part of the same army. behind them on a very tall horse is a representative of a figure with full antlers on his helmet, the great stag. And the horse that he's on is much larger even than the minotaurs in the scene. And so either the artist got dimensions weird, or he was representing a very, very unnaturally large horse. And looming over the back of all of them is a draconic figure. And behind them are other silhouettes of draconic figures. And it's clear that they are marching to war. And as you continue on further as you're spiraling down this long corridor, the next scene becomes one of war, full out war, not preparation for war. You see battle, and on one side are humans, and on the other side is everything else. And there's dead bodies on the really realistically carved too. It's kind of disturbing. And there's what's clearly meant to be, stone carved representations of magical spells and things and dragons. And you see that happening, and then it melds. And the next scene is one of loss, as the magical armies, you can see, that are still fighting are much depleted. There's not very many left. But the humans on the other side have not. And you'll notice that the one human figure at the beginning of that whole thing is represented by the same figure in this one, even though this entire war, like that human being is significant. And you keep walking, you keep spiraling down, and the story spirals down with you. And the next thing you see is that human being, and they're creating a portal, it looks like. And flowing into the portal seem to be dragons. Now, why they're flowing into the portal when they were fighting him a couple scenes ago, you're not exactly sure. It's clear that there's pieces of the story that are missing. Then it goes in, and then you see the next scene, the type of stone the corridor is made out of has been slowly changing. And you just realize, wait, it's not that pretty white marble anymore. Now it's become kind of a granite. And at this scene, it all of a sudden becomes like a dark, much darker stone. So it helps with the emotional representation of the carving, where there's the great portal, and there's an outline of a dragon inside, like it's trying to come out, with hands outstretched and wings outstretched. And the human being has turned to face towards the corridor. So for the first time, you can really see their face. And it's of course not a face that you understand. Seems like it probably happened a long time ago, if it even happened, if it's true and not just a story. But whoever this is, they look very tired and very smug. The artist has gotten a really amazing rendition of this person, of nuance, of smugness and exhaustion and maybe sorrow. And around them are a sea of humans. And on the other side are a sea of enslaved magical creatures, the creatures from the armies before, in chains. And in the middle of them, centered between the human army and the now enslaved magical army, are the orcs. And it's the first time that they've been actually represented in this, because they didn't show up on either side before. There was no representation that you recognized of an orc, but they're in the center now. As you keep walking and walking, perhaps a little more slowly because of the weight of this story, in the next scene, the magician is turned. It's still the same field. It's always the same field in this place, but the portal is gone, as if it's been hidden or moved, or you don't know. And the magical races are gone. There's no representation of them anymore. And on one side of them, him, are humans, represented as a mass going back. And on the other side are orcs, represented as a mass going back. But the orcs are looking to the side where the magical people were. The humans are not. What that's supposed to represent, you're not really sure. But it's an interesting thing to note. And then as that scene ends, you finally get to the end of this hallway. And at the end of this hallway is actually a T intersection. And you could go left or you could go right.
Do I have any strong feelings one way or the other?
Roll me a, let's see, it's not intuition check. What is it nowadays? Let me look. Still
intelligence.
Okay, looking at the skills.
Perception,
insight. That's the word I was looking for. Insight check.
23.
All right. Your insight tells you one path is bright and smooth and open, and the other path is a little less bright. It looks like a little bit past the T, it starts to get a little crumbly and less inviting. And your insight instinct tells you that maybe that's the path you're supposed to take, the path less traveled.
Yeah. Two roads diverge. Let's go take the one less traveled.
Yep. All right. And as you turn to the right and you step forward, it's like, ow, 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 ow. But you can go and you see that it actually curves around out of sight about 40 feet down.
Hello? Anyone? Just announcing my presence so you don't try to jump attack me.
Okay.
She's just talking to herself.
She keeps going story. And stuff. Yep.
Throughout the whole story, like, oh, well, this is interesting. And like, man, humans are dicks. It's just a lot of...
At least in that particular thing, they certainly are. So as you're going down and you call, there's no response at this particular point in time. However, once you get down and you turn the corner, you see that it branches off into a bunch of small like rooms off the side of the path, but they're all open and you can go and you look in them and there's just odd stuff in there, you know, old boxes. And what's interesting is none of it's decayed. Boxes of food, boxes of other things. And you go a little further and it looks like it's like 5,000 spearheads.
I'm gonna stop and grab some snacks.
All right, grab some snacks. You reach into a box of the food and this should be like, you know, 700-year-old food, but it is not. It's actually kind of nice. There's some like pemmican and some dried biscuits and, you know, a handful of of grain that you could take with you and stuff.
Bag it up.
Yeah,
much as I can carry.
Okay.
With
And one
the
of the rooms,
expectation that it probably, based on what she has since learned of magic, it probably won't be there when she gets back to wherever she came from. But in the meantime, she's got snacks.
in the meantime, you got snacks. And one of the rooms actually, there's 5,000 spearheads. There's an entire room that's just like kegs of probably some sort of alcohol. Then there's another room of like fabrics and stuff. It's like the storage room from hell.
Man, I'm real glad Ramiel's not here because that room would be a terrible idea for him. Let's grab some weapons, whatever I can carry.
Okay, well, and they're not whole spears. It's just like spearheads, and it's clear that they've never been used, that they were made new and then stored here and not used for whatever reason.
Are there any just like arrows that I can add to my stuff?
Not in this room, but as you move on, at some point there's arrowheads. There's not like arrows. A lot of this stuff, this is all stuff that was put in here clearly it's not being used right away, and whoever put it here never came back for it. But there's arrowheads.
Yeah, I'll take some arrowheads.
Okay.
Make myself super pointy.
Oh yeah. And then there's, like I said, fabric, and as you look at the fabric, they are some really beautiful fabrics.
Coming back for you.
Yeah, coming back, a little bit of silk going on and stuff. But yeah, it's like, I don't have a backpack. What can I do?
Only got so much space.
Yep. And you keep going and you keep going, and finally you step forward and roll me a dexterity check.
Oh man. Oh, what's my dex? Yeah, that's a solid 11.
Okay. Well, it's not, how a lot of times these kinds of things are like right before a doorway or a staircase, or no, it's just in the middle of a corridor of storage things. But all of a sudden you step forward and it looks like there's a floor there, but there is no floor there, and you end up falling down. And because you rolled an 11, it's not a pretty fall. Thank God nobody's here to see you face plant, but you indeed face plant. And ow, take 3 points of damage.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's like, I hope that
didn't distracted, okay?
Yeah, exactly. And you get up and look, and the light that was the whatever magical light that's up there is not down here. But roll me a perception check.
Listen, you brought me in here. You burnt off my boots. You threw me down some stairs. I'm not here for this. Sorry. What am I adding to this?
This is your perception.
Perception.
So that'd be wisdom.
I've got perception on here. Yeah. 23.
All right. So nice high perception thing. You're down here. It's just like the beginning of maybe a corridor or something that's not very long. But what you feel is that you could go this way or you could go this way. But this way, there's a pale greenish glow.
Oh, no.
And that way, it's just dark.
Oh, we've been running from green for a while.
Makes you think of the glow that went through your hand at the door.
Oh, so that green, not like the green we've been running from.
Right. Not like the miasma.
Gotcha. All right, well, then I'll go towards the light.
Okay. You go towards light. Do not go into the light. And you get there. It's not a very long walk from the fall. It's actually just like boop, 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 boop. And now it opens up into a room, a really big room. One would call this a cavern. It's huge. And it's very roughly worked. And at one end, there's something that looks an awful lot like the portal from that image way back there. and it's giving that slight, ever so slight, it's not a big glowy portal. It's more like just moving stuff inside of it. And it's not glowing, but it is kind of greenish, like the glow that was on that door that was at the end when the door finally opened.
All right, I'm gonna walk toward the screen with a big ol' announcement.
Okay.
Listen, my shoes are already burnt off. If you take off any of my other clothes, I'm gonna be real pissed.
Okay. As you walk towards the portal, it goes dark like the doorway was, and then it goes blue. Like for each step, it changes color a little bit until you get right up to it. And it's at that point just that same greenish glow that's the color of your skin.
I like my clothes. Don't take my clothes. Can I walk through it?
You try, you stick your toe up. Your toe does indeed go through it. Feels weird, kind of cold, but it does go through. It doesn't hurt you.
All right. Deep breath and just jump through.
Okay. And you jump through. And that's where we're going to go to our other player. Introducing our new player, the wonderful Chris Rigabaugh.
Hello, everyone.
And all right. So Chris, Grim
Yes.
is as Grim often is, hanging out in the library today. Yeah. He's got his cushion, got his snacks, got a wonderful book. What's the book that you're reading right now?
Well, I've moved on from botanical interests into more small woodland creatures.
Okay.
I'm learning about now.
Yeah. So you've been reading about, and it's like weird squirrels. What the hell?
It's so odd.
Yeah, there's none where you're at, out here on the archipelago. Oh my God, I cannot talk today. And I've run out of my caffeine.
Oh no.
There's none out here where you're at on the islands.
Huh.
Archipelago. See, I could say it.
You can.
I can say it. And so you've never seen one. And they're such small creatures that, all of the grand dioramas and stuff that and paintings and tapestries you guys have access to, they certainly don't have squirrels on them because they're squirrels, but man, they're kind of interesting. And those tails, they're so cute and fluffy.
Oh, and the cheeks. What?
Yeah,
they seem to be pouches.
Yeah, and they just can put stuff in there.
Oh,
sadly you can't do that.
If only I could see one.
Yeah. And then you realize, damn it, the library's closing. You're going to have to go to your little hidey hole if you want to stay longer and keep reading rather than go back out into boring old life.
I've done this hundreds of times.
Mm-hmm.
They certainly won't catch me. I have my ways.
Yeah. So you go and you begin to sneak back into your hidey hole. Roll me a stealth check.
Okay. Oh, yeah, this is going to be... Oh, a 14.
All right. You do manage to be, it's not your most stealthy moment, but, they haven't really been looking for you for a while, so that you just kind of back behind the shelving into that one little corner. And it reminds you that you were going to search tonight. You were going to do some more searching. You actually had a day off tomorrow from the various things that your various teachers and things had you doing. They have you right now on fishing watch. So you're doing a lot of the fishing for the wormlings and stuff. And it's just sucks. It's really boring.
So tedious.
And it's not what you want to be doing. You would rather be learning, you'd rather be adventuring, but you're basically a glorified fisherman right now for babies. So, but you have the day off tomorrow. So you decided that tonight was going to be one of those nights you were going to do your search. And so the time passes, the lights in the library dim as they do into darkness, but of course that's not an issue for you. In fact, it's kind of nice. It's a little harder to read that way, but it's really nice for when you're searching. And you hear the footsteps, the unusually heavy footsteps of the librarian as they leave the library and close the very large door that makes a resounding as it closes. And you know that you don't get to get out again until morning because they lock the library at night. But you have the whole night now to search.
Alone at last.
Alone at last, indeed.
He actually does do a really deep breath and a sigh and just kind of lets himself relax for once.
Thank you. Day off.
Okay, let's get started.
All right. And you remember from you've been doing this for a few years now, 20 years. And the library is massive. It's so big. And you've actually canvassed about 2/3 of it. So you've cross-sectioned, okay, I've got all the shelves and stuff, and so you've got this 1/3 left of the library to search. So where do you go?
Well, if I've been doing this in a grid,
Mm-hmm.
I will just go to the next row over and I will continue on and continue on and continue on.
Okay.
One at a time so I don't miss anything.
As you're going through and you're searching, roll me a search check.
Okay, that is a 12.
All right. Not great. You're a little distracted. You get to a section of books that you've actually kind of missed, and you realize that these ones are all about certain kinds of arcana. Ooh. It's a little distracting. But
He looks over his shoulder just to make sure he's still alone. And then maybe starts looking.
yeah, you open one of the books and man, it's so cool. This one's about how you can actually make healing plants into healing magic. It's kind of cool. And especially with you not being a magician per se, it's just kind of interesting because the magic of your people doesn't work that way. And so it's really cool. So you start reading, but you hear about 2-3 hours in, you hear something.
He sinks down real low immediately, like, do I need to hide? Uh-oh, there's somebody here. Listening to see if there's a noise again.
Okay, roll me a perception check. It's so handy that perception and search and stealth and all of those are just listen are all in one thing now.
16.
Much better than your last one.
Oh.
You hear a voice that says, "All right, I came all this way. You better not take my clothes too. You already took my shoes." Or some paraphrase of that.
Listen, you already took my shoes. These are very expensive clothes. I really don't need to have them gone. And frankly, nobody else needs to see that. Here we go.
And all pretense at stealth has ended for him.
Mm-hmm.
No.
You've never heard a voice like this before.
Who's in my library? And I stomp towards that sound.
Okay. You stomp towards that sound and run up against one of those back walls. It's on the other side of the wall.
Okay, I tap on the wall.
All right.
Pound on it a little bit. Not hard, but enough to make a noise.
Okay.
Hey, who's there?
Orkelia,
Mm-hmm.
you step through the portal.
Oh, I dove through the portal.
You dove through the portal. Yes, you dive through the portal. You do this wonderful rolling thing, and then you're up on your feet.
I was wondering, do I just smash right into him? Because I
Actually, no, because he's not there yet.
Okay.
Where you're at, you're on the other side of this portal. It's like a closet, an entire portal to put you in a closet.
There's not even any clothes here.
Yeah, and the wall is stone, and you turn around to look, and there's no portal. You're in a closet.
Well, I hate this. Hello?
You hear that?
I'm
It's
right
on the other
here.
side of the wall.
Starts rapping on the wall again.
You
Who
hear
let you in here?
on this wall right in front of you, pounding on the wall, and this voice say, "Who let you in here?"
A green light?
The library is closed at this point. No one should be here.
I mean, up till this point, there wasn't anybody around. So, I mean, yeah, but also, like, it's 700 years old and nobody's been in here forever. So the fact that you're here at all, hey, I'm in a closet. Can you get me out of here?
Wait, go back. Go back just 1 second.
I would love to, but the door's closed.
No, you said something about 700 years?
I mean, give or take.
You explain yourself right now.
Listen, buddy, I am in the middle of a dark, dark closet, and frankly, I don't do well with small places that are very dark. So I'm really happy to give you any information that you want. Just get me the fuck out of here.
Closet? Wait. What was that word?
Fucking? Oh, I'll explain it all to you later. Get me out.
I've never... I don't know of any closet here. He starts looking.
Well, where
Okay.
are you?
Do me a really good perception check there, Chris.
Oh, God.
And Orkelia, do me
Yeah.
a really good perception check on your side too.
Come on, buddy.
It's a 15. Not
Okay.
as good.
That's a 10.
Okay. Yeah, I know you guys aren't the sneakiest people in the whole thing.
No.
But that's okay. That's okay. Because Chris, as you're looking for this, you know, they're right there on the other side of this stone wall. You know, you can't find any like edges and stuff. You know, there's probably a door here or something. You can't see it in this dark, but her voice sounds so close. Maybe you would be strong enough to if you
Smashy.
put a little
All
bit
right.
of your own self into it, as one would say.
Whoever you are, back up from this wall.
Got it.
Yeah, you back up about the 8 feet that you've got.
Thinks about pushing. And then he thinks better of it. Backs up a few steps and tries to rush it.
Okay, you rush the
She
wall.
definitely puts her hands up over her face.
Yeah. Roll me a strength check.
Okay. Oh, that's a 21.
Okay. Something hits the other side of the wall that feels very solid, and there's like a crack and a little bit of dust that falls down on you, Orkelia, and you could feel like the cracking, but it doesn't give. Maybe there is a way you can be stronger.
You kind of did it. I mean, whatever you just did.
Or
try
maybe
it
you
again.
just do it again. And
You
again.
got this, buddy.
I think back to something I was learning about bipedal physiology. And I try a kick.
Okay.
I've never done a kick. I'm usually just using my arms.
I hope you try kicking the worst way, like just full on ankle first, right?
So he does it like a couple practice ones where he puts his foot up to where it should be, trying to get a feel for how those muscles work. And then he goes for it.
All right.
That's a 17.
Okay. That's still pretty good. All right. You hear, this doesn't sound like a full body slam there, Orkelia. This sounds like a kick or a punch type of thing. And it definitely impacts the stone, and you can actually hear the stone kind of inside there, and there's more rubble that's falling, but it hasn't got all the way through yet.
Yeah, buddy, just like 10 million times more of that.
Well, wait, just 1 second.
I got
Looks at the
all the
crack.
time in the closet.
And is trying to determine if this is like a structural wall, if it's going to affect the books.
Okay. Roll me. Let's roll me investigation.
Investigation. Okay.
Let's see how much you know of the instructional integrity of this place.
Nat 20. 22.
Oh, yeah. You know what? This is not a load-bearing wall. In fact, with the way the support beams seem to be, this is probably a doorway that has been walled in.
Huh. All right. So
secret door, anyone?
Wild abandon.
Secret.
Let's just start punching, or
I forget how this next part goes, but yes.
Secret.
All right. So Orkelia, you hear on the other side of the wall, like this wild, like pummeling, and it doesn't take you very long at all. With as strong as you are, there's crumbling, and then there's crumbling, and then it's a good thing you did that at one point. You hit it with one last punch, and it's like something from a superhero movie. The stone explodes outwards, and Orkelia, you are pelted with stone. Some of them are bigger, some of them, ow, that's a little good thing I'm wearing armor.
Ow.
And stuff. But yeah, now you have a nice, probably 3 feet around hole through the wall of the library here.
Ah, much better.
And you peek into the darkness, and you two describe yourselves to each other.
I'll go first because the audience has an idea of what I look like.
Right.
I am very tall, 7.5 feet, I think is what we said. I'm very tall, very muscular. Think like total Amazon girl. And my skin is green, just totally green. She has tusks that come up at the bottom that don't quite make it all the way in her mouth unless she like really tries to pull that jaw back. She has a bunch of hoop earrings that go up, and then like one little thing that connects here, but her ears are pointed and very tall. Yeah, she's all ripped and wearing a lot of armor to protect, the important parts, and her shoes would have been lovely. They were about almost knee-high heels that made her a little bit taller, but now don't. And it's just a lot of leather armor, shiny stuff on what basically looks like a more humanoid-looking orc.
Ah. Okay, and what you see is basically a human. He's got long dark hair. Kind of would remind you of a Tom Hiddleston, but jacked. Like just muscles everywhere.
We're the jacked version of Loki and Gamora. Got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
There
That
you
is-
go. There you
That
go.
is it.
But
he has a very open face, very, very eager.
Hey, everybody. I'm Orkelia. Nice to meet you. Who the hell are you?
Orkelia. It's a strange name.
Hi. I
How
like
did you even get in here? I didn't know this existed.
Yo, same, man. Voice told me go this way. I said, okay. And then it burned off my shoes and I ended up in a closet.
Shoes?
Yeah, the things on my feet.
Are you not wearing shoes?
No. He's wearing
What
a
are you
robe.
wearing?
He's
Okay.
wearing a robe.
Hold up.
A robe, and that's it.
Okay.
Very plain red robe.
Did I wake you? Were you napping?
No, I was reading.
Before
You-
bed?
It is a library. No, I intended on pulling a night with no sleep.
Oh. I mean, we've all done that, but like, reading?
Well, yes. What's wrong with reading?
Absolutely nothing. I just don't come across enough books to make that a hobby, really. I love reading. I love stories. They're pretty great. There's just not a lot of books around where I am. But this is a whole library of books. And what are you even doing here?
Well, I've got a ring. I passed the trials. Are you wearing any kind of ring at all?
I am probably wearing lots of jewelry. If it's shiny, she wants it. But so whatever ring you're wearing, she's just looking down at her own, going like,
I mean, I didn't pass any trials, but I got a lot of those.
Then how are you even allowed? You may
Listen,
call me Grim.
what a sad name.
I mean, what a great name. Grim boy.
Grimajakuthatrex, actually.
Grimajakuthichis.
Grima
Jaku.
Dracu
The tracks. Grimathachukitha.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to say
You
that
may
10 more
just
times. I
call me
promise I'll get it.
Grim.
Well, what about Traxy? Oh, I like Traxy. Traxy's cute.
No one calls me that.
I'll call you that. If that's okay.
Fine.
Great.
Look, you know you're stuck in here until morning.
I mean, I feel like I've been stuck in here for days. Where are we? You said a library. Those don't really exist anymore. So, I'm deducing.
Everyone knows
Aha,
the
big word.
library.
Not me. Or all the people I came with, which are over there. Oh, you know who would be losing his shit right now? Eyes. Oh, I should go back and get Eyes. Can I go back this way?
Eyes? You mean
Yeah, there's this guy. His name is Eyes Badoof. We've been calling him Badoof because he's a doof. He's also
Guy.
he's just Frankie. He really likes books though, so he would really like this place.
he's a guy?
Yeah, he's a guy. You're a guy. Hey guys.
Oh, you mean a male?
Yeah, I mean, well, guys is kind of gender neutral. The way I say it, but like, yeah, this one specifically is a guy.
You speak
Orkelia,
so
through
strange.
the hole you see shelves full of books behind him. You've never seen anything like it.
Oh wow, that's. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like breeze past you and just start looking.
Okay,
and,
you
like,
have to
touch
climb
in
through
and-
the hole first because it's
Oh.
only about 3 feet around, so it's going to be a little awkward, but you can do it.
I'm because I'm a big girl and I'm gonna fall right. Oh wow, it's spinning. Oh my god, it was spinning like at the end of Inception.
Nice.
Nice.
Really cool. Sorry, so that's dexterity. Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
19.
Oof. Okay. She slithers handily through the hole. Do you step back, Grim, to make room for her?
Yes, just enough to make room for her. And then, I'm holding out a fish. Are you hungry?
Is it cooked?
No.
No.
Thanks, man. I grabbed a bunch of snacks on the way in.
Your loss.
Wow. I've seen a lot of things, but eating raw fish, not one of them.
Anyway, books! So I'm start just grabbing and looking at the bugs.
He is stunned at what you just said.
Oh, bad.
Just stunned.
And the books, not a single one of the ones that are right here are in anything that you can read.
I assumed as much.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Huh. I can't read any of this. What language is this in?
Are you serious? It's draconic.
Oh. Oh. Did I... Are there dragons around?
Just who are you? Be very clear.
I told you, my name's Orkelia.
And where are you from?
The hole back there.
Okay, fine. He goes check out that hole.
Okay. You peek, there's the 3-foot hole and it's leading to a closet or just a little, like an 8-foot by 8-foot room that doesn't seem to have any egress at all.
There's no other way in or out of this place.
Listen, man, I don't know how magic works. It just does. I kind of need an answer to my question, though.
Magic. He ignores you and runs to a certain section of the bookshelves.
Oh, she runs right after him.
And reverently almost, you see him taking books off the shelf and looking for anything that would have to do with magic taking you from one place to another.
So, okay. It takes well. Roll me a knowledge or an arcana roll
Oh, okay.
to see how long this takes you.
She's
All right.
talking at you the entire time.
Oh, that's an 8.
All right. You know, you could swear you saw it, but it's such a huge library. And Orkelia, you notice this too. As far as you can see in the dark, which is only about 60 feet, it keeps going and keeps going. It's all in perfect condition, unlike the library you just left. And there's just, and Grim, you're going, was it right here? Was it over there? I don't know. You just can't find the right book. But you knew there was a book on like portals and teleportation and stuff like that at some point, but you never got into it because you really weren't into the magical side of things so much at that point in time. So you don't know where it's at. This is kind of above your pay grade.
I take it back because I haven't been saying anything. I think Orkelia is dead silent for like the first time since you met her.
I knew it. I kept telling them they should create a card catalog of some kind, some way of finding things, but no one would listen.
Yeah, people don't really listen. Speaking of listening, I still have a very, very important question that you haven't answered.
Oh, I apologize. Your feelings are valid.
Whoa, buddy.
What?
We're gonna have to have a whole talk, Traxy. In the meantime, here's what I'm guessing is happening. I stepped through a portal. You freaked out about the 700 years. So we're either in the past or in some other like side dimension where this is all shiny and new and the old one and the other one is old and gross and filled with ghosts and things that aren't great. I don't know what the answer is, but the main thing that I need to know is, are there dragons here?
You're on the archipelago.
I don't know what that means.
Yes. Dragons and only dragons and sea life. Some birds.
Is there a blue dragon anywhere?
Several.
I'm looking for one in particular.
Why?
But
And where are you from? Don't say the whole. Please do not say the whole.
Tanya, out of game, what is the name of our place again?
The place that, well, the country you're from is the Alcamarchy.
Alcamarchy?
Alcamarchy. Yeah, I know it's weird. The actual place that you're from in the Alcamarchy, here, I'll come back for this, is up to the north end, and it's called the Wastes. That's where the village was hiding.
Gotcha.
So you're from the Wastes in the Alcamarchy. Where you were at most recently was on the Miscula Peninsula.
Okay. Well, I'm from a place called the Wastes, and in this place called the Alcamarchy. But I don't think you'll have any idea what those things are, based on what I've learned here.
Oh no.
Or maybe you do.
Wait, you're real.
Yep. Pretty real, as far as I know.
Shakily reaches out and like just
Ask first, buddy. I did actually hit you that hard, did I?
No, I'm fine. You heard a voice. What was the voice? What did the voice say? Who was this voice?
Well, I don't know their name. I know they're blue and there's a dragon, and I kind of met them at some point, but I don't know if that was actually like real or if it was just like in my brain. But people came with me, so I'm assuming it was kind of real, but like dream reality. I don't know how magic works. At any rate, we're now in this big old like what used to be a school place, and they projected an image of somebody very important to me and said, "Hey, come hither." And I went, "Oh no, this is a bad idea." And then I hithered anyway, and now I'm here in Dragon World, and I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to find my blue boy. Wait, hold on. You said that there are only dragons and fish and things here. So you're either a dragon or a fish.
I guess I'm a fish.
You're shark. Because sharks eat fish, right? That's how things work. Because fish don't eat
It had
fish.
to have been a portal.
Okay.
Show me which wall it was. How did you step into that closet?
Hold up, because I'm still getting past the fact that you're a fish. How are you breathing right now?
Do I look like a fish?
Well, no, but you also don't look like a dragon. You said there are only dragons or fish, so questions.
So what do I look like to you?
Sort of human. Which also doesn't make sense based on everything that I don't, would you call it reading? I don't know. There were like pictures on a wall, but there weren't any words.
Here, then the way out is through that hole.
I don't know. It seemed pretty closed up to me. I don't like small spaces. That was a really small, dark place.
And Grim goes for that hole. He's climbing through.
Okay. You climb through the hole and you start searching that wall. And you do have dark vision, but I mean, it doesn't show nuances of color and stuff like that. There's certain limitations to it. Roll me a search check or perception, I suppose.
Perception.
Yeah.
17.
Okay. There's no anything. It's just a wall, but there is like a warm spot.
Ah. Okay. So if this is warm, feels the different places, tries to feel where the warmest warm spot is.
You having a good time there, buddy?
Is this about where you entered?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, you didn't really like fall anything, so it wasn't higher up than what you can stand.
Grim pushes on the wall, not like hard, just because he's assuming there's something magical happening.
Okay.
Did
Okay.
anything happen?
No, not for Grim.
I probably should have warned you that the voice said I was the only one who could open it.
Can you come here, please?
No, you need to take me to the Blue Dragon. And then I'll give you some freaking door opening magic. I don't know, but that's what I need.
Maybe you could narrow it down a little bit?
Don't think I can. Tanya, can I?
You have never heard the name. You've met him in person, but he didn't really say his name,
Yeah.
or in not that you would understand anyway.
Did he have any like special markings or anything other than pretty blue scales?
Yeah, well, there's pretty blue scales. He was very large. You know, as far as dragons go, he was, when you guys went into the big conclave area, he was probably fourth or fifth largest dragon there.
Okay. I mean, really big. Like really big. Like I know dragons are big, but this guy was like really big.
Dragons are normal size.
For you. How big do you think I am in my world?
I don't know.
Well, I'm pretty big for my world. So if I'm looking at something going, wow, that's big, it's a big deal.
Okay, fine. You are here to find a specific blue dragon.
I mean, I guess. That's really the only thing I can think. There was a voice. It said go this way. I went this way. I ended up here. You should probably follow the voice. And the last time I followed the voice, it ended up being my big blue dragon.
But instead you found me.
Are you a big blue dragon?
No.
Well, then it's not supposed to be you.
Are you sure?
No. How come you're the only one here?
Reasons?
Reasons have answers.
Well, somebody needs to guard the library.
So you're a security guard.
Sure. Yeah.
Roll
I
me
like
a
that.
deception check.
Yeah, okay.
And Orkelia, roll me an insight.
I don't think I need to. I think he was pretty happy.
Exactly. That's true. Okay, if we just go with the acting,
Yeah.
yeah.
You just go with the
Because that was a 7.
Yeah, that's pretty high, so.
And that was about what you were doing too. So it's appropriate. For deception, that is.
Security guard.
So, I mean, hear me out, Draxie. You really think that I was sent here to hang out with the not security guard dude?
There's no one else here.
But it was the only portal here.
And you found one person.
Yeah. In his robe.
And just as a heads up, Grim, the only portal you have ever heard of, ever here, is that one. And that was 20 years ago. And that was just like in passing. Nobody talks about a portal.
That's true.
So you gonna help me or no?
You know, I have been the only one searching for a portal. For 20 years.
Fancy meeting you here then.
And then you show up.
Yeah. Through a portal.
I think it is me that you were trying to find.
I think it's me that you were trying to find. You ever
No,
think of that?
I was trying to find the portal.
And can go through the portal. So you found the portal. Now I need to find my thing.
Why is that so important?
You ever have a voice in your head that tells you to do things?
No.
Yeah, most people don't. So I want to find out who is telling me to do things so I can tell them to stop talking to me in the head. That's not nice. It's not fair. And frankly, it's rude. It's rude. So I need to tell this thing to stop. Or at least send a note.
May I make a recommendation to you?
You may.
You said this blue dragon was quite large.
Yeah.
When you say large, are you saying, let's say, about 16 feet tall?
I'd say it's probably about the size of a castle. Not a small castle. Do you have castles here?
We have caves and a library, and the Enclave.
So maybe the size of the library?
I don't recommend you talking to, well, actually anyone else.
Why not?
That could be, well, that could be very bad.
I mean, I talked to them before. They brought me here. They brought me here.
Yes, but have you asked yourself why?
Why?
Well, a gigantic blue dragon, to your sensibilities, tries to lure you to a place. It wants something, right?
Well, I'm supposed to free them.
Just that blue?
No, all of them. From my understanding, they've all been trapped. And based on the thing that I'm going to say read. It wasn't very nice.
No, it was not.
So you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
So, I mean, if I could open the door and free them.
I don't think that will free them.
Why not?
Because it's a tiny door.
Yeah, but you kicked this thing down. What do you think a dragon could do?
Obviously nothing, because it hasn't happened yet.
Because they didn't have me.
Because they are all still trapped, correct?
As far as I know.
All right then. There has to be some other way of doing it.
If there was another way of doing it, don't you think it would already have been done? It's been 700 years. Give or take.
And I would like to free the dragons.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of what I've been searching for this whole time.
Hey, I can open portals. You want to open the portal? Let's open the portal.
Yes.
But I gotta meet dragons.
I don't...
What's the problem?
It's... If I were a dragon, and I had been imprisoned for hundreds of years by these other powerful creatures, and I was allowed to escape, what do you think me and my kind would do immediately?
Burn that shit down.
All right. What shit? What shit would be burned
Usually
down?
it's the stuff that comes out of your butt, but sometimes it's just a descriptor.
Right. Good to know. Okay. But in this case...
Sorry. I'm really proud of that.
Her finest moment, the description of shit.
Because I wasn't wrong.
Was that Nick Cage show where he was talking about the history of swear words?
Yeah. I was really proud of myself for even keeping it together after that. Anyway. You were saying?
Yes, in reference to the shit that would be burned. What would that particular shit be?
Well, so this is why I need to talk to them. Because I feel like if I just set a few boundaries, they're going to be like, great, you helped us, we'll help you. So right now, our world has a real bad problem of taking everybody magical and enslaving them and taking their magic from them for their own uses. And I'm pretty sure that has triggered this big ol' miasma that is going to destroy the world anyway. And dragons say they can stop that from happening. So basically, it's kind of a trade. Like, hey, you can take the shitheads that destroyed you, but also, like, save the world and the magical people who've been nothing but tortured for a very long time. So it's kind of a catch-all. It's kind of a save both worlds thing.
Okay.
At this moment, you both hear a large voice. Who's in the library? It's after hours. And you know, Grim, that this is the librarian. You guys clearly made a little too much noise.
No.
Is that one of them?
It's the librarian.
And you hear very heavy footsteps coming towards you.
Why does that word sound so scary?
Because he could kick me out of here.
You could be kicked out of a building and that's scary? Come
They
on,
wouldn't let me
man.
back in. Shh. Come on.
I guess we're hiding.
All right,
Yes.
roll me a hide chest. A stealth check.
So... Oh my god.
19.
So
Oh no.
mine's a nat bad. And here's the funny thing. I didn't realize that the other die was still in there, and it knocked the other die that knocked that one into a nat bad too.
Oh no, so you got 2 ones?
I mean, because technically no, because
No.
it wasn't at disadvantage.
This is fate telling me
But yeah,
that this
I
is
got
going
you
to go to shit really bad. All of a sudden, Grim is just like, hide, and Grim dives behind the one of the shelves, and it's clear that he's had long practice at this.
Sure.
And he just you can't even really see him anymore, and you're like, where did you go? You know, whatever it was that
Where am
you
I supposed to hide?
yeah. And stuff. And all of us end.
Oh.
This
Grim comes out of hiding.
No,
figure, this tall figure looms down the thing. It's humanoid. Oh, it's an orc. It's another orc.
Oh.
But this orc is like 9 feet tall. And the amount of noise those footsteps are making is incongruous with the size of the figure. Like, its density is much higher than what you're actually seeing. And it's just this kind of orcish figure. This looks like a very old man in a heavy robe. And he stops through and he's like, all right, I know it's you. And then he sees you, Orkelia, and he waves at you. And he's like, I don't recognize you. Are you one of the whites? Are you one of those stupid pesky whites? And he
No,
reaches
no.
out and he grabs your ear
Ow.
and starts trying to lead you back towards the doorway
Hey, ow, buddy.
against resistance. And that grip is really tight.
Yeah, that's a real ear. Could you listen? I'll walk with you. You don't have to grab me by the eye. Let me just explain.
And then he starts lecturing over your talking. So what you were hearing, Grim, is two voices going, Orkelia going, wait a minute, it's a real ear. I can walk with you. And while he's going, you know that there's nobody allowed in after closing. This is against the rules. You'll never get to come in here again. Your education is crap.
As that happens, Grim is going to use that distraction to get to the exterior of the library where he can be a little bigger and a little quicker. And he's going to get to the entrance, which is now open, and get out.
Okay, roll me a stealth check. Let's see if, because you're moving fast, let's see if this distracted librarian sees you or not. You have advantage.
Oh. Nice.
The second roll saved your ass?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I rolled a 2, and then I rolled a dirty 20.
Okay. Nice. Okay, you manage to get ahead of them and slip outside the door as if, and what do you do once you're outside? And there's nobody else out there at the moment, although you happen to know that people coming into this very precious library after dark is highly frowned upon. There may be an alarm. Who knows what's going to happen? Do you just ditch, or what do you do?
No, I'm going to fly a little bit past the opening.
Okay.
And
so
then
you've changed into your flying form?
That's so I could get out quicker, because my movement is much
faster.
Much quicker. And then I'm going to change back and just kind of be out for a stroll.
Okay.
Be walking by.
All right. Cool.
I'm trying to time it for when they get to the entrance.
Yeah, it's like, I'm walking real slow. Okay, Ellie? Orkelia is being dragged by her ear. That grip is so tight that you would have to really fight to get loose without damaging your ear. Yeah.
No, I don't want to lose my ear.
Okay, so you're getting dragged to the doorway.
But it's a lot of her talking. Of just like, no, I don't actually know where I am, and I don't know these people, and like, you can just not let me back in the library. I will walk with you. Just let me. I don't know who you are.
Okay, and you get to the door, and there's Grim outside walking like he was just walking by, like, hey. And the librarian says, Grim,
what's happening?
Well, this guy's
go get
pulling
the
my
authorities.
Ear, literally.
Oh no.
All right, now I need to see your dragon form, he says to Orkelia. And he changes now that he's outside of the library in those very close quarters. This quarter, by the way, is massive. Whereas the library is a normal human-sized library. The corridor and the librarian, he starts to grow and he changes, and all of a sudden he is 30 feet tall, maybe more.
Makes a lot more sense.
Master Librarian,
he's actually
this
bronze colored. He's actually quite pretty.
I know this one.
Well, that's just too bad for you then, because she broke the rules. Time for her to face the punishment. Now you need to change, young lady.
So that is going to be a problem.
That's the thing, Master. My father took this one in. She's stuck. She can't get around it anymore, and she's having issues.
Which is why I was in the library trying to figure out how to change back.
Still against the rules. The rules are the rules. And he slams his claws down on either side of you, and that huge face gets really close to yours, Orkelia.
It's
and he
true.
Sniffs at you.
You'll never be allowed back in that library. You know that. You know the rules. Now I'm going to have to spend my time in the library researching this for you. Come on.
Okay, and he rolled a 10 on his perception check for the sniffing.
Yeah.
It's like, you smell like fish. All right. What is your name?
Oh, hi, I'm Orkelia. Nice to meet you.
Orkelia, you are hereby denied access to the library for the next 70 years.
Oh,
You tell Eris,
I will. Come on.
because if I have to tell Eris, another 100 will be tacked on.
I will take care of it. I promise. You know I keep my word.
I trust you, Grim. You're my favorite. And he pats you on top of with his claw, like it encompasses your entire body, but he kind of gently pats the top of your head.
And I let out a little, like, purr roar.
Uh-huh.
I'll
And
take
then
care of it.
The librarian says, you do that. And he turns and the tip of his tail flicks the door of the library shut. And he hums, and you see like a blue glow just kind of go around the door, like magic clearly happened. And you have a very strong feeling that door is probably sealed now. There's no getting in at the moment.
Well,
And
come
he
on.
shuffles off.
I
Dragon
start
World.
loudly chastising her until I feel like
He's out of view.
he's out of range.
Okay. And he's grumbling the whole time. To wake me up in the middle of the night is an old man. There's no respect for age anymore. There's no respect for learning. And that's how it goes off as he goes off into this massive dragon, this massive old bronze dragon goes off into the darkness and is eventually out of ear. You can't hear him complaining anymore.
He's cranky.
Oh, you are so lucky. I am so lucky. Oh my, I am so lucky.
How did you do that?
Oh. Do what?
You were over there and then you were over here.
Well, I'm very fast.
Okay. What now?
Well, now I don't.
And Grim, just
Yeah.
for the record, you know that there's about 30 blue dragons on the island of varying sizes.
And
There's only one that's massive, though.
I know which one that is. I've got my suspicions about this,
Yeah.
but I'm taking her to see my dad.
Okay.
Come on, my father will know what to do.
Ooh, hate that sentence.
Well, he's very wise. He adopted me when I was, well, very young.
You're adopted?
Yeah.
Aw, dragons adopting fish. That's cute. Let's go.
So, my dad, you can, oh no, just call him Eris.
Eris. Got it.
Yes. Yes, he's an ancient gold. He's an old warrior.
Ancient gold sounds so shiny.
Well, yeah. The metallic dragons are very shiny, but the chromatic can be shiny too.
Yeah, but chrome. Like, gold is cool. Rubies are great. Sapphires are pretty. Chrome's just kind of like chrome.
Okay, come on.
I don't
keep up.
actually know what chrome is.
Okay, you
Chromatic.
guys head off. He heads off down the hallway and is kind of leaving you behind.
So the etymology.
Listen, she explained shit, you explained chrome.
It's
As
an
you
array
guys
of
head
color.
off down the hallway. Now, Grim, the way back to your dad's house is actually normally you would fly it because there is a section that you're going to have to fly to get across because it's on another island from the library. So you either have to swim under the water or you're going to have to fly. You do guys go
Fish
down the
gotta
hallway.
swim, dragon gotta fly.
Let's fly. And you do get out to the hallway that opens up, just like those, remember those caverns, Orkelia, that you walked in the dream? One of these comes out and you see, as you get down the hallway and it's very quiet in this section. Clearly nobody else was here except for the librarian. This is the library, which is his. You get out and there's the big end to the tunnel, and sure enough, you get out there and it is a sheer drop off down to the ocean, and you can see other tall spires of land rising from the ocean around it and stuff. You recognize this a little bit from where it's a different side, but it's very much like what you saw in your dream. And there's holes that, big tunnels that dot the sides of these all over that doesn't seem to be any way to get to unless you wanted to dive out and down into the water and swim or fly.
Okay.
I gotta tell you, like, I get that you can breathe water, but I can't.
Just give me a moment.
Okay.
And then Grim takes off his robe.
Ah!
Okay.
Listen, buddy. Next time, morning, right?
Rips it long ways so that it can be rolled up like sort of a rope,
Okay.
and hands it to Orkelia.
Okay. A very naked, well-built man.
She definitely has her eyes closed now.
You're not sure why this is bothering her at all.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
What? Are you
Just-
okay?
You're just very naked. Just a lot of naked boy.
Oh,
Still-
oh. Oh, yes, that's weird for you, isn't it?
Yup.
Okay, don't
She keeps like sort of
Try not to
looking, but then
react.
close your eyes quickly.
in an extreme way. Just try to take what happens next in a very calm manner.
I mean, you're already stripped in front of me, so I don't know what else you're gonna do, but that
M-
sounds scary.
Maybe sit down
Oh, okay.
and hold on to that rock. Just hold on. Nothing bad is going to happen. Just relax.
Oh God, none of this is comforting.
He's trying really hard, but he has no idea how to do this. All right, nothing for it. Here we go.
Huh?
Remember, I'm still me.
Okay.
And he changes.
She still has her eyes closed.
Yep. You hear kind of a strange, like a whooshing sound that's a lot like what the sound was when the librarian changed. But it's right in front of you.
So he's probably about 55 feet long and 12 feet high. Red dragon.
Eyes closed.
You can look at me now.
Ah! Ah!
No.
Ah!
And if you can imagine a dragon going, no. It's fine. Everything's fine.
My cat disagrees.
Did she just run when you screamed?
No, she was going meow, meow.
Cat's not a
Sure.
fan of dragons, clearly.
Oh, hold up. Describe yourself again, real quick.
About 12 feet tall.
Mhm.
Really, really rich, dark crimson red scales.
Go
About
Go on.
55 feet long
Mm.
from horns to tail. Sure.
Precious gold eyes.
Yes, but his eyes are green.
Does he have crit butt? Does he have
No, he
crit
doesn't
butt?
have.
Does he have
Obviously not.
quadruple crit butt?
Oh my god.
Quadruple crit, but that's
That's
the
a lot.
dragon of power.
That-
Anyway, so you're go on.
Okay, so then he's like, I'm going to dip my wing down.
Mhm.
I want you to wrap that around my neck and hold on.
So you want me to ride you?
Do you have a better idea? I could grab you in my claw.
Ah! Listen,
Is that...
it's not that
do
you're
I...
a dragon. It's that you didn't tell me, and you said you were a fish. This is not a fish.
Oh,
Why you lie?
You're...
Why you lie?
No, I wasn't lying. I was... It's called being facetious.
No, boy. That's lying. Lying. Do I have to explain lying to you?
No,
Okay, it's like shit.
sarcasm. You see, it's... I didn't know this about the lesser races, that they didn't have sarcasm.
Excuse me? Lesser races? You racist little red-ass bitch.
That's what everyone calls you.
They're incorrect. Rude.
Well, they obviously haven't met you.
So they just
Now I have,
blanket...
and now I'm learning. God,
So
wait,
it's just like
you
this
could answer
blanket...
so many questions for me.
Not if you keep treating me like this, I won't.
Have you seen a squirrel?
Listen,
Do they really have the little pouches?
there are so few things in this world that make me shut up. This is one of those moments where just flames on the side of my face. Now I see why they call you Grim.
Why?
Because you're just so sad. Let's go.
Okay.
Rubs it around.
He kind of feels it to, like, because this is new for him.
She's so mad. She's so mad.
Now, please
It takes
hold
a
on
lot
tight.
to get her genuinely mad. She's mad.
Holding.
All right. On 3. 1, and he goes.
Okay, Orkelia.
Listen, she's used to riding cats. She's got this.
Yeah, that was one time. So roll me.
She rolled a boulder.
Yeah, roll me a dexterity check to make sure you stay on.
So she's holding onto that rope real hard, right?
Uh-huh.
But you took off. So she's just dangling from your neck, holding on, and screaming while we're flying. Because that was a solid 4.
Nice. So she doesn't manage to stay on your back because it's awkward and stuff, but she does manage to keep hold of the rope, and she's like, "Ah!" And you have screaming. You have a nice screaming little flapping orc hanging from your neck as you go leap across the chasm.
All right. I'm pretty good at flying. I'm going to try to get her back up.
Okay. Roll me a dexterity check. Because, I mean, you're both pretty flustered right now. This has never
17.
happened to you either before. Okay, you managed. He does this little dip thing. It's really cool with his wing, and it's like, and it actually kind of, with the way he makes the wind flip you back, and you land on his back, and you can grab on.
Very much a sploot.
A sploot. Yes, it's a sploot.
And then it's like a wiggle.
Mm-hmm. All right, and she is settled on your back. It feels really strange. You've not really ever had this before and stuff, and it's like, ow.
Can you not with your leg?
I don't know what I'm doing with my leg. I'm holding on for dear life right now. Listen, we got to figure out a better way to do this next time.
He's trying to just fly, like,
gently,
steady, which he's not used to doing at all.
Mm-hmm. And then there's just a moment where you almost forget, and there's like that little dip of, oh, this feels so really good in this air current. Oh wait, no, that was scary.
Nope.
Yep, exactly. But
sorry,
all told,
sorry.
It's the most terrifying thing you have ever experienced, Orkelia. But you do make it across the chasm. Few islands in to a big cavern opening that's actually lower down. It's a little closer to the water, and you fly on in, and there's your landing zone.
That's a whole lot of muscles I don't think I've ever used.
Yep. Grim
See,
lands.
that wasn't that bad, right?
We'll work on it.
She looks really quite wide-eyed, and you're not really sure what that indicates in a human or orc in this case.
Was it
She's also panting,
is
sweaty.
it exciting?
That is a word for it. Yes.
Oh, good. I was afraid that you didn't like it. And he changes back to a human.
Okay, and as he changes back to a human, I'm going to say it is now 4:00. Do you guys want to take a 5-minute break and keep going, or do you want to pause this and start another day?
I can keep going.
My schedule's free for the rest of the day.
Wonderful. All right, let's take a 5-minute break, everybody, and we will all be back in 5 minutes. Welcome back, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Now we are refreshed and ready to continue on. So, Grim and Orkelia, you guys end up, he flies in, he lands on the landing pad, as it were, which in every dragon household is a little different. It's very personal. It's like the front porch of your house. But in this case, on Eris's, and he's so old and it's been so around for so long. It's actually really it's not ornate, it's not beautiful, it's very functional. This is a functional landing space. So it's got smooth areas, got a nice open area for your wings to do the beat back. So you can come in for a fast landing if you want to. There's the changing area for if you need to change into your human form. That's off kind of to the side. There's, a lot of corridors that go off, to the different places in the quarters, as it were. His house, which is this series of caverns all linked together, and that's where you are.
All right. So, welcome to my home.
Yeah, just hold still, buddy. Just hold on. I gotta figure out a way to.
And she just like slides off.
He tries to make a ramp with his wing.
Thump, thump, just right on down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've never really done that.
Yeah, no problem. Me neither.
It's fine. Okay, I'm good.
I'm up.
Okay.
Let's do this. We're gonna meet
All
your
right.
dad.
And he switches to human form.
That's so weird.
Oh, could I have my
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I did it again.
Did what?
I ripped
Yeah,
another
the whole-
robe.
Oh.
Yeah, in the human changing area, that's what that is. There's like a few very simple robes over there for both you and for your dad when you have to, there's certain dragon protocols that say, okay, this is when you need to do this.
Cover it up.
Okay, so my dad's really old?
So he's gonna be naked.
No. Maybe,
Okay,
I guess
that's fine.
technically just I don't know, he's a little old-fashioned.
Spit it out.
Don't talk over him. He hates that.
Oh shit.
He's got this whole respect thing. He has punished me so many times for that.
That doesn't sound great.
But I can't help it. I've got questions. I have things I need to know. And
Yeah, same.
Right.
Yeah. And
So
sometimes
you-
people just don't answer those questions, and you just gotta keep asking them.
Well, if you don't, then they're never going to answer you, right?
Absolutely. Let's go meet your dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we saunter in from the garage.
Yep, and that's exactly what it's kind of like, only much larger and longer and
God, I
very
brought a girl home.
rough.
And as we get in, I'm like, Dad!
Now, are you speaking in common or draconic?
Draconic.
Oh,
Okay.
just right.
Yeah, so it's just you don't understand what he's saying, but context,
Also, dragons have been roaring in my head my whole life. So
Yep. Okay, you hear from way back in the cavern, and his yell was really loud, a lot louder than would normally be for that size of body. Go figure. And from way back in the caverns, you hear Grim, and you know that he's in the botanical area. He's in the garden.
He's in the garden.
He's in the garden.
You the garden? Pretty.
I guess. Come on.
Okay, you head back into this warren, and Orkelia, it is like a maze. You have no, and all the tunnels are huge, and yet it's still like a maze. It's like that one goes there, and then this one goes here. There is no way that on your own you would be able to find your way back this first time to that shelf. So you guys go into the depth of the caverns, and I mean, it's a cavern, but it's actually not too bad. That there's one part where the walls have been lined with things that are like shells, to be almost, it reminds you of like a really high-end bathroom or something, with the shells in the walls, like almost like tile. One of them has like shiny scales from God only knows what fish that was, or maybe a small dragon or something that's been lined the floor and stuff like that. And it's all very natural things, but it's actually, there's places where it's beautiful, and then there's places where it's just nicely smooth stone and dirt, so it kind of goes back and forth between the two, but it does definitely show a stronger sign of civilization than you would have expected for something as wild as the legends say dragons were.
Some pretty cool digs, man.
Oh, thanks. I mean, it's not much, really, in comparison to some people.
I mean, don't compare yourself to other people. Everybody's either going to be better than you or worse off than you. You just gotta live your own life.
Well, luckily I can.
Good.
And he leads you.
Yeah, and you guys go down into the caverns, and finally, kind of at the furthest one away, and the highest up, it's a little closer to outside, and you find out once you walk into the room, there's lots of different holes in the ceiling that peer through the roots and the moss and stuff. It's actually kind of magical looking as the green light, from the sun shines into this place, and it is a garden. You see different kinds of plants and herbs and things. There's a bank of flowers growing, and in the center, carefully like tending, a little rooted plant root ball, with a little flower coming out of it, and with this massive claw. And you realize as you get closer that this is probably a tree he's holding, but it looked like a small flower when you first saw him. Is your mind kind of balks at how big this being is, and the shine of the gold on his scales is actually kind of worn and faded a little bit because he's so old. You don't know necessarily that age is what is doing that, but it's definitely was gold at one point, and there's still hints of that vibrant shininess in certain parts, particularly around his throat. And he is massive. You've never really, I mean, you've seen ships, you've seen caravans, and you've never seen anything quite this big. He's a good 150 feet long,
is he
40
as big as our blue boy?
Oh, he's bigger
Okay.
by a bit, quite a bit actually. And it's clear that he's, to all intents and purposes, gardening.
Whoa. This is a lot.
And he
It's
says,
No, it's
beautiful.
great, right?
yeah, and he says over his shoulder to you, Grim, without looking. He doesn't turn his head to look because he's busy looking at this plant. And as he's gotten older, you've noticed that he's getting kind of more and more into this. Before you had the garden just for food, but now there's like flowers and different things. You're not even sure where he got the seeds, but it's kind of pretty, not your thing, but kind of pretty. And he says over his shoulder in Draconic, "Were you hiding in the library again?"
I I mean, technically, I don't know if hiding is the right word. Um, Dad, can we use common?
Why would we do that?
Well, you'll see.
It's such a clumsy language.
I know. I know.
What are you saying?
Please.
At that, his head swivels around, and this eye that's as big as you are, Orkelia, gets close to you and looks at you and says, And he does the same thing the librarian did, where he sniffs you, and he rolled a natural 20.
Yeah.
And he goes, and he gets closer and closer and closer until he's like this, and it's like really intimidating.
Hi.
And then he leans back and he says, did this wash up? I didn't think they could come through the barrier in the ocean. In common.
No, Dad. In common, obviously. This is Orkelia. She came through a wall in the library?
Yeah.
She said that she was hearing a voice.
Mhm.
She seems to think it's a very large blue dragon.
At
I
this,
mean,
he
that
sits
sounds
up
like
a little
Dagon,
bit
right?
further. It does.
What did you say? Sorry. What?
It does sound
No, I
like
didn't hear.
Dagon.
Like Dan?
Dagon.
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 I'm gonna have a hard time with
And
your guys' name.
he's like, he pulls himself up to his full height, and you see that he brushes the top of this very large cavern. And he says, I see. The conclave will want to speak with you.
So she's safe? Like, no one's gonna eat her?
No. No one will eat her.
That's a relief. You are the biggest thing I have ever seen.
I think that's a compliment.
Sure.
Well, thank you. Well, I would say Grim.
Yeah, Dad.
You two wait here. Do not leave. I will go organize the gathering.
Okay.
So you are
Orkelia?
I believe.
Yeah, Orkelia. Hi. Nice to meet you. What was your name?
Aristrata. Okay, I can do this. Aristotrax.
Aristotrax.
Yes.
It's like
But
an
you may call
aristocrat,
me
but better.
Eris,
Eris.
savior
Nice to meet you.
of the dragon.
Eris, savior of the dragon.
No, that's you.
Oh, what? No. What?
Wait, what?
No.
I will be back. Stay here.
Of course.
You may offer our guests some refreshment, but
Please, no fish.
don't let her wander. There are dangers in our caverns that an orc may not recognize.
Oh. Okay.
And with that, he turns and he lumbers past you out the door. Now you actually have to move to get out of his way because he's so big and he's coming back towards you. And he goes past you and past you and past you because he's so long. It takes a long time for him to get all the way past
Freight
you.
train.
Yeah, exactly. It goes past and past and past, and then he goes off into the corridor, and you hear him go down, and you know that he's headed for the launching area, so he can fly over to the enclave, to where the king is.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Are you guys like fish, like goldfish? Like the older they get, the bigger they are, or like the more space they have, the bigger they are. And you just keep growing until you die. Is that why he's so big?
Goldfish. I think I've read about them.
just assumed you had all fish. Or like
No,
crabs or lobsters. Things that just keep growing until you...
I mean, saltwater fish we have plenty of. Tuna. Do you like tuna?
I like it cooked. Do you breathe fire?
Yeah?
Yes, you can cook stuff.
Yes, but, I mean, why?
I never really thought of that, Pat. I mean, I guess fish you can eat raw and it's fine, but I think it depends on the fish. I've never really looked into it. I've just always had mine cooked.
Huh, wait. Are you, what is the word?
Hmm.
A chef. Are you
Oh,
a
no.
chef?
I am not a chef. No. But I've had many chefs around me that have made some like really great things, and I will talk about that food for days on end. Because
Oh, please tell me, what is your favorite thing? What was the worst thing? What was your favorite spicy thing? What about desserts? Desserts. Do you like desserts?
I love
What was your
desserts.
favorite dessert?
Oh, desserts are the best. Pie. I like pie a lot.
Pie. What kind of pie? What is pie? Tell me all about pie.
Oh man, you really do need to get to our place. What is pie? Pie is like sugar with a lot of fruit. So you can pretend it's healthy, but it's really not.
We just passed the
Time.
time talking food.
Yeah, time passes very quickly, actually. Talking about a subject you're both very interested in, which is food. To the
isn't?
point where you actually don't offer her any food, Grim, because you're so distracted with talking about food. And you don't know how much time has passed because, I mean, you know how time passes when you're having fun.
Oh, yeah.
But it is so nice to have somebody to talk to like this, to answer questions, to talk about, you know, what's the point of sarcasm versus this, you know, these are all things that, you know, Dad's great, but he's a warrior and he's old and he doesn't really talk about things. And the other young dragons, they're more interested in, you know, the games that they play and you know, fighting and deep diving and stuff than they are talking about, you know, the things that you read about. And you know, you realize you've been kind of lonely. And this is really cool. And it's funny that one of the lesser races would be the one to actually fill that role of companion for this moment. Orkelia, this whole thing is so surreal. You just don't even know what to think about it at all.
She's along for the ride.
Mm-hmm. You
She
know,
has a million questions too. Actually, I do have one question that I want to ask real quick.
So, why is it that you build your society to like half fit yourselves, and other times you have to like make yourself smaller? And also, how come librarian dude turned into an orc, but you're turning into human? And you guys turn into other kinds of things? I'm so confused as to why you wouldn't just build a society that you're always...
I know all these.
Okay.
Okay, so some of us turn into orcs, some of us turn into humans.
Why
Um,
orcs?
I don't know.
Is that just like the only other kind of people that you know what to look like?
It just seems like the easiest. I don't know. Magic's kind of neat, and I want to learn more about it, but it just, I don't know. It's kind of like this vibration that just happens, and you feel it when it's happening, but I haven't been able to control it yet.
But you can do it innately, right?
Well, it took me a long time and a lot of practice. But
I
yeah,
have a friend who might be able to help you there. Hey, do you speak Elven? Elvish? Elifidin?
you know, I came across a book of it once, and I started to read it, but I didn't get very far because I got distracted. There's just a lot in the library.
Yeah, I saw. There's so much there. Hey, when we go back, we should steal a bunch of books and bring them with us.
The librarian would have my horns.
Well, I'm not allowed to go back in there anyway, so we might as well break all of the rules and then run away to a different dimension.
Well, you're not allowed in there because he thinks that you're a white dragon.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, so there are these trials that you have to pass
Okay.
in order to be allowed to use the library. It's kind of for safety and so that we protect the books. You can't have people just going in there willy-nilly and like breathing fire on books, destroying things, or maybe
That's something
treating
people would do?
Well, if you don't have control of
Oh.
yourself, then you're not allowed in there because you could do lots of damage that's irreparable.
So it's like wetting the bed when you're a kid. Like, you don't know you're doing it, but you're setting fire to everything.
Except it's the receptacle of all knowledge that you're destroying.
Yeah, maybe don't do that. I wouldn't want to pee on a book. That sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah. Books are like a gateway. They take you so many different places.
I could take you places. Apparently. Of course, the place
Yeah.
I'm going is not great. I really need to talk to the blue dragon.
Well, I think my dad's gonna set that up.
Great.
I think.
Why you look so concerned?
Well, I don't know. The Enclave always makes me feel nervous.
Why?
Because it's all very important and well, ominous.
You're important, and your name's Grim. That's as ominous as it gets.
Well, I mean, that's just the first 4 letters. There's a lot more to me than that.
Yeah, there's Traxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. See, I can be other things.
Grim Traxy.
Yeah.
I know that's not your name. It's fun to say.
Or I could be Dreku.
Dracu?
That's the middle part of my name.
Grim Dracu Traxy. There was more to that last bit.
Grimadreku to Thrax.
I'll get it.
Okay. Okay, is there more to your name?
No.
Oh.
That's
Is that
okay.
normal? That's to have a short name?
I always thought my name was relatively long. Because like I've made a joke about it my like whole life because I'm an orc and so like I'm scary and orcs are scary and
Are they?
orcs are like the big scary mer people. So I always had to be really
Really?
nice. Yeah. They're like the security guards of our area, but like way worse.
Huh.
Also, they aren't usually very intelligent. And I think if they were taught things, they would probably be more intelligent, but they're just like gruff and all the time. And I just don't want to put out that kind of energy. So it's like, I'm an orc, but I'm not going to kill you. So like,
Oh, I see. It's wordplay.
Yeah.
Wordplay. I've read books on wordplay.
You've read books on wordplay. You need friends, don't you?
Well, the other dragons my age are kind of boring. All they want to do is like dive in the ocean and race and
I think you need to have a level of perspective that as somebody who didn't think dragons existed, the idea that dragons could be boring in any way is kind of mind-blowing.
oh. I mean, they're just dragons.
Ah! And on that note, all of
The
dragons-
dichotomy of the idea that just dragons. Yeah, you can see that circling around in your head, but he doesn't know what that is that's going behind your eyes like this and stuff. And at that moment, just as you're like, Eris returns.
Yeah.
And you only know this because he calls from way out. God only knows how far away. The voice, those big voices just echo through these tunnels like crazy. And he says, "Come now."
Oh. And at
It's
that
gonna be fine.
moment, it occurs to Grim that he was supposed to offer her refreshment.
Man, I
So,
am thirsty, but I guess
You've
I'll go
seen
meet
his head
dragons.
whipping around, like looking in the garden for like some kind of fruit or something.
It's
Oh,
fine, buddy. It's gonna be okay. Let's go meet some dragons.
Quick, and he grabs something and he's like, "Here."
there's like a watering can that's full of water, but it's like, a 32-gallon, 42-gallon thing. So
Here.
it's
Have something to drink.
Smash it in my face.
He doesn't know.
It's fine.
You thirsty?
Not anymore.
Are you coming?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go. You're gonna have to lead the way, man. I don't know this.
It's this way. Come on. And don't take any other weird turns. Just stay with me.
This place sounds so ominous. Kind of want to
Well-
go this way.
No.
I'm just messing with you.
You
You're
guys
so
head
nervous.
out
It's
and you
great.
do pass other quarters that one of them has like weird sounds in it, and the other one there's a gleam of like gold, and that's just like reflecting off of the walls out into the quarter. And then there's another one, and so that there's a lot more things going on here than just a garden. But you do go back to where you came from, and you go, I know this place. This is the landing deck, as it were. And Eris is standing there, and without any kind of preamble or politeness or anything, Orkelia, he just wraps you in one of his massive claws and says, "They want to see you now. Come,
Ah!
Grim."
Oh, I get to come? Okay.
And he turns and spreads these massive wings and takes off into the air. And his claw is so big that only like this much of you is poking out. Feels a lot more secure than being on the back did, but also a lot less freeing because you can't really turn your head. You can just kind of see down at the water, way down there.
It's a lot of don't drop me, don't drop me, don't drop me, don't drop me, don't drop me.
And you fly, and you take off and you fly. Grim, are you following?
Oh yes, I'm following, but I'm unhindered. So Grim's doing like aerial tricks.
I
He's
don't-
enjoying flying.
Yeah.
She
Flipping
can't
around.
see any of it.
That's okay. He's still enjoying.
Yep.
And they end up flying clear through, start circling through all of these tall spired mountainous islands to the tallest one in the very center. And this one, Orkelia, as you get closer and you can see it, you recognize this spire. You recognize it really clearly. In fact, you're pretty sure that place up there was where you guys landed.
Mhm.
In the dream. That's where you showed up. But where you're actually going right now is not up at the top. It's actually going down. He ends up skimming the water.
Hey!
You've never been to this place, Grim.
Oh.
He's skimming the water, and he goes into a cave that's half underwater. But he's not. His flight is so smooth and so good. He even manages to, at one point, his knuckles kind of brush the top of the water there, Orkelia. And so you get a little bit of spray, but really that's it, And you go in and under the ground at the top of the water, and you go back a ways, and where you finally land is this very strange cavern. It's not like the landing places or the things that you've seen now. This one has like a series of almost like cement blockades, like you would see in a war zone, and you will have to like serpentine your way through them to get back to the exit from this cavern. When he lands, Eris puts you down on the ground and says, "Follow quickly." They were very excited.
Dad, where are we?
And he doesn't answer your question. Instead, he heads back and begins following the trail between the barricades. Now, for you, Orkelia, as your normal orcish size, the barriers are so big and so far apart, you can easily just you could probably drive a cart through them.
Mhm.
But for a dragon, it's actually a fairly tight fit. Which means, and they go almost to the ceiling, which means that as a defensible position, if you were being attacked, this would be the place you'd want to go. You've seen this in castles and stuff before. Okay.
Huh.
Well, I'm following as quickly as possible.
As quickly as possible. All right, and you guys get back there, and at the very back of it is another thing you've never seen here, Grim, before. It is a portcullis, like a human-made portcullis. You've seen pictures of them on, in books about castles and stuff, but this one's real. It's heavy iron, clearly not dragon worked and stuff. So you
Does
stand
this
there.
really work? Is it... Dad, is this a portcullis? Like a real one?
Yes, indeed. Oh, I should tell you, Grim, that if
Yeah.
you talk to others of our kind about this place without the express permission of the Enclave, you will be killed.
Ooh.
And he smiles. You know that's their rule for everything. You do this, you'll get killed. You do this,
Of
you get killed.
course.
You do this, you get killed. They often don't do that unless things are getting a little crowded, but they do when things are getting crowded.
They say that for everything. You will be killed. You will be killed.
Comforting. Thanks.
Uh-huh.
Ah. Okay, you go and you're waiting there. You wait for a moment, and then on the other side, you see the lumbering shape of one of the dragons that you've only ever seen at the Enclave. You don't think you've ever spoken to him. And they raise the portcullis and gesture silently for you guys to continue down the corridor. And as you walk into this place, these halls are clearly more human worked. Orkelia, this carving is a lot like what you experienced in that long spiraling hallway down, except it's different. It's the same kind of carving, the same kind of stone, but it's the same story, but from the dragon's perspective as opposed to the human one. And so at the end, oddly, as you guys are walking down this long corridor that once again is sloping down and spiraling down into the ground under the ocean, you're getting the story of this war between humans and the magical creatures led by the dragons, and the tall being in the horned helmet. But at the end of this story, the ones put into the portal are the humans, not the dragons. As if the dragons walled themselves off. Whereas on the other story, it's the humans walled the dragons off. And so there's a slight narrative change there that only you have seen, because you're the only one that's seen both of these things so far. You go through, and once you get there, you get to another blackened doorway. But this one is open. And this massive door, you go in, and the dragons follow you. And inside is a small, roughly carved, I say small for draconic terms, amphitheater, and around it are the 5 largest dragons. The gold that sat in the middle of the spire in the dream that you had, which you think was probably the king, and then several others, including the librarian. And way over on this edge, a little separate from the others, you recognize the blue.
Orkelia sees the librarian and just and then there's a big old wave. Hey, and then sees the blue dragon, and then if she's walking now. Bolts toward him.
Like my friend, somebody
Yeah.
No, come back.
Nope, she's taking off. Do I get to him?
Oh yeah,
Great, just
You get to
tackle
him?
hug.
you tackle hug.
I don't know, like if he's too big to get around the neck, then she's
He
grabbing around his
absolutely
leg.
is. He
Definitely
absolutely
hugging the
is.
leg.
Well, and you could probably go like, yeah, no, there's no getting around the neck. It's definitely hugging
like-
leg area.
Gets up there.
And he actually dips his nose a little bit and touches the top of your head, kind of like a little nose kiss.
It's a
And
cat
then, and you hear the voice in your head that says, "Listen."
Okay. But hey, I made it. Look, I got here.
And at that point, the gold dragon. And Grim, you know that this is the king of dragonkind right here.
And I do the dragon deference bow that has been taught to me.
Yeah, which is like the wings. And he nods his head back. The other dragons are looking from you to Orkelia to Eris, back to Orkelia. Their focus seems to be a lot on Orkelia right now. And roll me a perception check, both of you. Both of you. Although yours will be with disadvantage because you're distracted there, Orkelia.
18.
You'll notice that the door closed behind you.
Great, because that was a 6.
Yeah, Grim. Orkelia, you didn't notice that because you're just like, my friend, finally I found you.
A voice in my head. It's here.
It's here. And it's for real, although the dream felt just as real, but this, how you got here. You didn't just wake up here,
Yeah.
In this room, there's the rough carved amphitheater behind the gold dragon, where he's sitting at the top, at the highest point of the small semicircle. There is a door that looks exactly like the one that you had to put your hand on.
Got it. Okay. Her brain makes a big old note of that one. So just turning around and looking at everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Grim is just very much trying to avert his gaze from the librarian.
Yeah, don't look
'Cause
at me, don't look at me.
Like, oh no. Please don't be mad.
Okay. They don't seem to be paying you much attention right now, Grim. Yeah, so it's like, Eris brought you, but maybe you didn't even need to be here. You don't know. They're definitely paying attention to Eris and to Orkelia. The king says to Eris in Draconic, Orkelia, you have no idea what he just said, but he says, "This is the one. Aristotrax." I'm so proud of myself right now. And Eris nods his head and said, "Indeed, this is the one. The scent is fully humanoid. There is no dragon about this one." And then the other 4 around, there's like draconic muttering. So all you hear, Orkelia, is
Hey, everyone. I don't speak Draconic. Common's great. Please.
You see the little red dragon being like,
She's doing the terrified talking again.
Yeah, I'm very terrified.
Like, this is a weird place where, like, she's got her comfort dragon, but she's not 100% sure that's a comfort dragon. And then there's a billion other giant things around her.
Yeah, you feel like you're like this
That are-
big to them.
They're just growling. And she's not used to being tiny.
Yep, and you're the GI Joe figurine to their, or the small army man to their very large GI Joe. Anyway, they all look at you after there's the muttering and stuff, and then he turns and says, in common to you, the gold dragon, How did you get in?
I walked through a wall.
Certainly there must be more to it than that.
I mean, yeah, but that's the gist of it. I was in this like underwater school thing, and then I'm assuming Bluey over here projected my mom, so I had to follow that, and then I followed until I found a wall that said put my hand here, and so I put my hand there, and then they burnt my shoes. And if you guys could replace those shoes, that'd be real great. You got plenty of scales there. Dragon scales would be a really great pair of shoes. But I'm just saying. Also, just put my hand on the wall, and then I walked through the wall. Here I am. Yay.
They all look at you. The librarian is whispering urgently in the ear of the giant gold dragon.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I ended up in the library and he kicked me out.
He turns and he looks at you. And then reaches back like you're just kind of a flea right now, and just goes back and continues to like, Grim, the little bits you can pick up of the whispering are things like not allowed, humans can't come through, portal, they didn't say portal, so different things like that. There's definitely some concern as he's going through the thing. And then they all fall silent. As the door, not behind the guy, but another door that you didn't really notice because it's kind of, you're not sure why you didn't notice. Maybe magic said don't notice or whatever, but Grim, you didn't notice it either. It's a big door off to the side. And it opens. And in shuffles another very large dragon. But this one, it's unnaturally pale. It's not a white dragon. It's not that creamy white of like although you wouldn't know what a white dragon looks, but to Grim, it's not that creamy white. You've only seen this dragon like twice in your entire life. The coloring would seem to indicate it spends most of its time below ground. It's like this pale, milky, not white, but cream. So you don't know what color it was initially, but right now, it's kind of the color of moonlight. And he comes in swinging his head back and forth a little bit. And roll me a perception check, Orkelia.
14.
Okay, you notice that his eyes are clearly blind. Grim, yes indeed, this is the seer, which means you must be in the seer's quarters, in that place they spoke of. Dragons aren't allowed down here normally, nobody but the king. And clearly now the enclave, at least that's what you'd been told. Maybe that's not completely true, but still, this very, very old blind dragon shuffles out to the center of the area. And the fact that he is able to stop right in the dead center means he's really familiar with this space, because he has no eyesight to gauge it. And he turns with his blind eyes and he looks at you, Orkelia. It's very unnerving because he's looking at you, but he's also not looking at you because he's blind. And he says, have they tried the door? Except that his voice is not like the other dragons. Have they tried the door? Have they tried the door? Whatever. His voice is like a whisper of wind that turned into words. Has she tried the door?
I don't know who they are. As far as I know, I'm the only one who has gone through it in like 700 years.
And they turn and the others all look at you. And the king beckons one giant claw and says,
Big ol' look up at Bluey.
and he nods and kind of nudges you towards it, and he gestures at the door that's behind him. You're going to have to walk right past him to get to it.
Before I try this, because last time I just like put my hand on the thing and then suddenly I was somewhere else. And like if I try that here, I don't get any answers. So I have questions and then I will touch your door. Good? Great. So, where am I? How did I get here and what the hell is going on?
It's like deep laughter. From the others, there's a few that are muttering angrily at your impertinence, but the king, he just laughs. And he says, you are at the home of all dragon kind, all that are left. You are here because in your youth, something in your blood, your bloodline, allowed a connection. You are the connector in our attempt to free ourselves. And you have connected with Dagon here.
Hey, man.
And that gives you the ability to be here without becoming food.
Great. Love that for me. Don't eat me. Okay, so let me get this straight, because I've now seen two sides of this story, and I'm pretty sure I know which one's the right one, but I just want to make sure. Did you guys close yourselves off from the other world? I'm just gonna call it the common world, because that's what we speak over there. Did you guys close yourself off of the common world, or did we slam that big old door on you?
The librarian speaks up with his very deep voice and says, well, according to histories, it could have been either way. But regardless, the result is the same. We are imprisoned here, and it is too small for us.
Right.
And then the seer speaks up and whispers, and the librarian's words are cut off in deference to the seer's very quiet voice as he says, we chose to come here, but we did not create the barrier.
Who created the barrier?
The great enemy.
That doesn't really narrow it down.
The humans that you call Alchemage.
Oh yeah, we don't like them either. The bad people. They real bad people. They took my friend and like chopped bits off of her and then used her bits as for magical purposes. That is textbook disgusting and rude and mean, and yeah, we don't like them either. So
the seer turns his head back towards you and says, I am aware. They took my eyes.
it did that to my aunt too. I'm sorry. They're assholes.
We will take from them.
And you know what? I'm actually all here for that. Here's my thing. There are a lot of other species in my world that have nothing to do with this. Most of them are running from the Alchemages. A lot of them are in hiding. I've had to pretend to be something I'm not my entire life just to protect those people. Now, if I let you through, will you hurt those other people?
Only if they get in between us.
Here's the problem. All of those people are enslaved and they will be put in front of you. They will not have a choice. They will have to fight, because if they don't, their families are in danger. They're other people. So how are we going to get past them first without killing all of them just to destroy one group of people?
Is the one group of people all in one place?
Of course not. Are you?
Yes.
No. No.
We cannot leave these islands.
But there are many islands.
Not very many. Not for some.
You're missing my point. My point is, imagine our world the way you see yours. Bunch of little islands. Different kinds of dragons, different people over here. So for example, You wanted just to take out, I'm sorry, I'm going to use you as an example because you're right here. We just wanted to take out the white dragons. Well, there's only one of you that I have seen, but I haven't seen many others, but they all reverent you, so I'm assuming you're one only. We don't know exactly where you are. So we go to every single island and we take out anybody who doesn't know the answer, who is possibly trying to protect you, et cetera, not from their own protection, but because they have to, because that's what society has told them to, et cetera, because you've had hundreds and hundreds of years of us being forced to be reverent to you. So what, do you want to take out everybody in order to get to the one? That's not fair. Be stealthy. Find out those ones. Get past the people who don't know any better. Don't just kill them. There are better ways.
At this point, the gold dragon stands up and up and up, and you realize that he is not quite as big as Eris, but really close. And he says, so in order to help us, you would want us to fight a war without fighting a war, which would just get us destroyed again.
No, because you can turn into humans and you can turn into orcs. You don't have to go flying in there like a bunch of dragons.
Not all of us can do that.
Then the ones who can't stay here, we're going to open that door and we're going to let everybody free, but there's got to be a level of patience here.
You're assuming a lot. You're
Am I?
assuming, yes.
Or are you just saying no a lot?
No, you're assuming that we will destroy everybody and everything.
Well, what's your plan?
We don't know. We haven't seen outside this barrier in 700 years.
So, what happens if I open that door right now?
We go out and we see.
How about one of you sees and reports back?
That could work. It's not my favorite, and there will have to be a time limit.
We only have so much time. There's a green miasma trying to destroy our world, and I don't know if we can outrun it.
There's more whispering.
There may not be a world to come back to anyway.
Green miasma, tell us of this.
It's this green light that attaches onto you, and it looks like if you have any kind of willpower at all, you can fight it off, but if you can't, it absorbs you and makes you kill other people. It eats you, and you can't fight it, and it just spreads and spreads and spreads. And I don't know how to stop it. And
There's got to be some way to destroy it.
And there's like whispering and whispering. Everybody turns and looks at Grim and said, you hear from one of the other dragons, one of the big coppers that's right there. He says, who let him in?
I did.
But then he said that in Draconic, so you don't know what he said.
Fair enough.
But Grim does.
I was so ready.
Yeah, I know. And Eris says in Draconic, I did. And the copper kind of sinks back in his seat just a little bit. And he says, the reason there would need to be a time limit, we are long-lived. You are not. Dagon? If this mortal can get you through the barrier, I will task you to go with them and find the answers that you know we need.
I turned to good old Bluey.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hear me out.
This is much quieter. I don't know if they can hear me. I don't know what their hearing is like, but I'm telling you.
You can all hear her.
Hear me out. You're the only one here I have a direct connection to. And I don't know if it's possible to have one with another one here, but we're going to have some kind of communication. I think you need to stay. so that you can get updates and we can talk.
And then I turn to the rest of them.
I'm gonna bring Grim. That's who's coming.
There's instantly an uproar. And Dagon's like, no, I will go. I will go.
Grim just sinks down like an embarrassment.
And there's like, and everything's getting loud. It's like their voices are very loud.
I am
it's all
bringing
draconic.
Grim.
And the
I
gold.
will only bring Grim.
Because I have to do the thing.
Yeah.
I am bringing Grim. I am only bringing Grim. And if you want this door to open, you will let him come with me.
Dad?
Eris holds up a claw to you, Grim. You know that means.
Shut up.
Shush your face.
Mhm. Yeah, the universal. For dragons, humans, doesn't matter. Everybody knows that. And the gold stands and says to Dagon, I know you desire your freedom. We all do. But be patient. We will send Grim. He is innocent, which means perhaps he will have perspective. And then you hear other muttering over here in Draconic. Grim, what you know that person said is, and it also means that they probably won't kill him. They'll just use him for parts. That's what one of the other, but yeah, Orkelia, you didn't hear that. Or you heard it, but it was like, it says, and if this fails, we have not lost one of our more important members. And he looks at the blue and says, it is just logic, wisdom. I hope that Grim performs his job and brings us the knowledge that we need to go forward in a safe way into this world. Grim, do you accept?
I do. And I will prove the faith that you have in me. Nobody's using me for parts.
All right. Eris?
And at that, he snarls a little bit about the person who said that.
Parts. Cool. Eris, do you maintain a link with Grim? Eris nods. I don't know if it will transcend the barrier, but it may. They'll not, I assume. The gold moves back away from that door as the others kind of push back to make room for him. And so everybody kind of, it's like a sea of dragons. Even though there's only 5 of them, they're so big, it's like a sea, they part. And now you have this dragon scaled corridor to the door.
I head to the door and hold up my hand and then pause and turn around.
Hey, you guys don't know how to stop the miasma, do you?
We don't know what it is, and we won't until we, and he gestures at Grim's eyes to his eyes, see it.
Fair enough. Figured I'd ask. All right, let's
Grim nods to his father. And then
Grim, you get in your head, as you do frequently, when he's like, where are you? You're late. Are you coming home for dinner? Whatever it is. Just that little bit of words that say, find out everything. I know you can.
if you could see a dragon smile, he has the biggest one. Kind of looks a little bit menacing, but
yeah, because his mouth is like big with all the teeth now.
Oh.
But if you look in the eyes, like he's like everything.
She holds up her hand again and then pulls it back one more time, turns at Grim and goes, where we're going is kind of small. You might want to.
Grim saunters over.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is my moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna strut.
Right on over to the door.
Dragon
Milking
strut.
it. Yep,
He
milking
turns
it.
around and turns into the human. He is naked.
You're naked again.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Did you bring your robe? You
No.
just gonna show up naked? Fucking yes. It should. So Orkelia goes, oh shit. Closes her
What
eyes.
shit? What?
Holds out her hand to him.
I didn't.
You're fine. Just take my hand.
This is gonna be fun. And puts her hand on the door.
All right. You put your hand on the door. And this one's a little different from the last one. The last one was unpleasant. This is doubly so.
Oh.
You put your hand and the light flares instantly. It's not like a slow build in the black. It's like the black light. And you can feel whatever magic this is actually fighting you this time. Before it accepted you and you just had to hold it there long enough for it to work around to your light. But this time it's trying to repel you. It's trying to push you off the door. It's trying to overwhelm you with it. You get the sense of almost like intelligence. It's not. But that feeling of like, okay, it is trying to push you off, and you have to steel yourself to push back harder, and really hold it there long enough to get it through. Do you do that?
Yeah, whereas before it was just like a touch, now it's like a push.
Now you see her pushing and pushing, and the light is flaring black. All the dragons, a few of them at the edges, you hear a gasp, and a dragon gasp is very loud. So it's like, and you can start to smell the smell of like sulfur and lightning and the different things that would be their breath weapons. That's like sparking with the stress of watching this happen. Slowly the black turns. You can feel your hair starting, like last time, starting to go up and flat, and your clothing feels like it's burning your skin, like all of your skin is burning for a moment, and then it turns blue. The light turns blue, and you know that you're working it past that. You know what you've got to do, and you start to lean into it further, and it's not turning, and you feel like maybe you should sing something, because that's your power.
Man, the song that just went through my head is not one that we're going to sing, but now we have to.
Okay, do it.
I blame the cat, and everyone will understand this. Take me home, country road, to the place where I belong. Take me home.
The human starts making this sound. She's saying words, but she's saying it with different pitches and stuff. That's a lot like music. Now, it's not like the kind of music you guys do with the deep thrones from dragons way down, and then the high head sounds and the whooshes. Dragon music is really quite something. But it's kind of like that. Maybe it's human music. Maybe it's orcish music. Who knows? But it's it's not as good as dragon music, but it's got its appeal. But as soon as she starts making those sounds, the light around her hand on the door flares quickly from blue to green, and then from green to gold. And the door doesn't just open. The door implodes. It just shatters into 100,000 pieces of tiny bits of stone, and now that floor on the other side is covered in gravel, and the door is gone permanently. And on the other side of the door, just like you saw before, is what looks like a portal.
Let's go.
And it's not light, but it is black, swirling things inside.
You hear a rumble coming from Grimm's chest. And he doesn't hesitate. Just goes right through with you.
Okay, well, if Grimm steps forward and he realizes, are you two holding hands?
Yes.
That you can't go without her hand. She's going to have to pull you. You can't go at the same time. So Orkelia, you step through.
Okay.
He squeezes a little
I'll
harder.
step through.
Not to hurt, but just to
And
make sure.
Yeah. So it's the step through and then the like turn around and the pull.
Okay, and you turn around and you pull. And suddenly you're in a different place. And that's where we're going to leave the game today. And Grimm
Yay.
has left the realm of the dragons, and Orkelia has been there and come back to tell about it.
They didn't eat me.
Nope, they didn't eat you. And now you know how to get through the portals and where they are. You just have to remember, can I get to this place? Especially if the miasma covers it.
I really thought they were going to eat you. I'm so happy. Oh.
Tell me about it. That said, I've got a couple of friends who may not like physically eat you, but man, will they just... They're gonna have questions. We gotta find you some clothes.
Are we... I know we wrap this up, but I just have one quick... Are we anywhere near where I originally came in? Are we in the same place?
No, much like when you originally came in, you ended up in that weird little closet thing that had been walled off at one point when it probably wasn't supposed to. The place that you are now, it looks like it's in the library somewhere, but it's not a room you've been to yet.
We gotta find you some clothes.
Oh, why?
This is not a naked place, my dude.
Dude.
Just roll with it.
All right.
And that's where we'll end it today.
Awesome.